Alright guys, today I'm going to replace my AC compressor, my w203 C40. As you can see, mine, I had to do a bypass on it because the clutch just exploded. The bearings and everything, it still worked, but it all got torn up. So I had to put, I think, a 92 or 94 inch belt on there, which I got O'Reilly's. And I'm going to put this new AC compressor on. And I also got this O-ring kit from NAPA. Here it is. I'll probably put the part number in the description. They sell full kits at the store. I couldn't buy individual ones for the hoses. But this is for 04 and 05, C240 and C320. And I believe if you have the 01 to 03, W203, you need a different compressor, but it should be the same job. Alright, so first I just remove these hoses on the intake or pipes, and this little cover just for a little more space just has these clips that pop up and slide out. And we're going to loosen up the tensioner, pull the belt, and the tensioner has this 17 millimeter nut right there on the bottom, and you turn it, if you're at the front, you'll turn it to the left, so counterclockwise. Alright, now we're going to disconnect the AC lines from the AC compressor first. I've already had my system, all the freon taken out, which I think that's about 150 bucks or so, depending on the shop. And I got my ratchet on the first line there. You can see a little better down through there. Just that one right there. And the second line is this black one in the back, and your ratchet goes right down that hole. It's hard to see, but right down there. We're going to take this first line off here just for a little space so we can fit the ratchet under there better, but I'm using a 6 millimeter Allen, and it fits just fine in there with the ratchets. Alright, just to gain a little more space before taking the bolts off, I'm going to take off the low side, which is an E10, just this bolt right here, since I got a complete O-ring kit, just to make it a little easier on me. If you didn't get one, you can get to those bolts at the bottom without taking this off. I just want to take this whole hose out to just give myself a little more space. Since I got a whole O-ring kit, may as well use it. Alright guys, the two bolts on the bottom are this one right here, and it's hard to see. There's one beyond those two wires, that one all the way back there, and those bolts are, if I can find my socket, they are a E12 to take those off. And this one I got from the bottom. I may have to get this one right here, the front one, from the other side at the top, just because it's really hard to get to from here, but I may be able to fit a ratchet in there. Alright, I wasn't paying attention, but there is another E12 on the bottom side right here behind this power steering line. And now when you can move this line a little bit, and you should be able to get to it with no issues. And take that out, and the AC compressor will drop down. Alright, since I couldn't fit the ratchet in there, I got the end of a 10 millimeter to get on this front bolt, 10 millimeter wrench, and I'm loosening it with that right now, since I just couldn't get a ratchet to fit in this space with the E12, and the 10 millimeter works, but I won't be able to torque that back down in place when I install the new one. Alright guys, now we're going to unplug it, which is this plug right here. May be easier for you guys to get from underneath, but you just squeeze together. It should pop off. I mean, you get two hands for this. Alright guys, what I've been doing is sliding it slowly past this power steering line, and I finally got enough to where I'll be able to pull it through like this. And I'll probably need two hands for this, but I'll be able to slide it straight up after get poured just a little more. Alright guys, now I'm getting ready to reinstall the new compressor. I'm gonna leave these covers on here just to make sure I keep dirt out of the system. And if I can do it with one hand, just gonna drop it down in here. It kind of turns the fan with it, and bam, you got it down there. And then you have to kind of just wiggle it past that power steering line. It's hard for me to do in this space with one hand. Alright, I got back in place. I did loosen the took the bracket off that's holding this so I could pull a line forward more. Should have done that to begin with, but now I'm going to put this top bolt here, put it in, because once we get the other bolts in, we won't have enough space to slide between the front subframe to fit it in place. So now we just gotta go hold it up in place and get bolts put in place. And I believe all the three of the bolts are the same, so it doesn't matter which hole you put them back into. And looks like these have Loctite on them to begin with, so you could go ahead and put some blue Loctite back on them before you reinstall them. Alright guys, I've got put in place. I've also got it plugged in, and I put new O-rings on the hoses. What I did for the O-rings, there are a couple that are the same size. There's some thinner ones in the kit. I made sure I put the thicker ones on because that's what it requires. The thicker ones are better match. I mean, you could probably reuse your old O-rings. Mine are still pretty pliable and stuff, but I just didn't want to risk it and have stuff leaking out. So now I'm going to take these little covers off the AC compressor. I've left those on the whole time to make sure I didn't get any dirt in there. I'm going to take those off and put my hoses back on. And make sure you put a little bit of oil or something on these O-rings before you put them back in place. Alright guys, I got the lines hooked up. A little challenging, but now we're going to go back and get your serpentine belt on. Alright guys, and here's how the serpentine belt goes on. Hopefully that's helpful. Next, we're gonna get the intake and cover back on, and I'm probably gonna wait till morning and I'll get it vacuumed out, and I'll show you how to vacuum the system out and refill it with freon. Alright, now we're gonna vacuum out the system, which you have to do after letting stuff out of the letting the freon out. So we gotta hook up. You can get these pumps right here. I think you can rent them at AutoZone and they give you your money back and stuff like that. But here's the low side. You hook it up and you open the valve, and then the high side is pretty hidden on these cars. It's right behind this little cover right here. And you hook this on, make sure everything's tight, and I'm gonna run this here for about half an hour, make sure I get all the moisture out of the system. You know, I don't have to run too long because my system wasn't open that long. The longer your system's open, you might want to run it for an hour if it's open for a while. So I'll turn it on, and the pressure should have dropped on here. Alright, got the sides vacuumed down, the gauges are down. You may want to let them sit like that just to make sure it's holding pressure, but now we're gonna add I got this can for adding freon to the low side, and I believe the values are 50 on the low and 250 on the high. It also depends on the temperature and other stuff, so if I was you, I'd check online, check your temperature. But we gotta have the car running and the AC at full blast before we start adding any freon to the system. Alright guys, I got everything filled up. I had to clear the system with this code reader because when I was filling mine, I had an issue where the AC off right here, the light was on, you couldn't turn it off, so it won't take any more freon because the compressor won't come on. If you have that issue, you can clear it. Some of the scanners can clear it. Ours, reading online, you can disconnect a fuse from, I believe it's under this fuse box right here for the AC for about 10 seconds. I'll reset. Then you can fill the system. I got mine up to about 50 low and 200 on the high. And now my car is blowing hot air. If your car is blowing hot air only on the driver's side, it's this flapper valve. Alright, here's my old compressor. Somehow the pulley just came off and was destroyed, but if you guys have any questions, comment down below. I'll try and answer them the best I can, and I had trouble finding torque values on any of the stuff for this, so leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more content on this car, and I'll definitely be doing some more stuff soon.